Hello, viewer, and welcome back to Games with Dialogue. This is episode 55 of my RPG Maker series. Last time, we were working on the pirate situation, bridging the gap between Continent 1 and Continent 2. I think this episode will shift focus a little bit, but we'll mainly stick with the pirates. So let's dive in. First thing I want to point out is that I moved the Pirate Cove from that little island area right here. I moved it from here up. I figured it was pointless to have the ship sail up here, only to have the player get on another ship and sail up here. So I just cut it out of the middle. But yeah, they sail around the reef up into the cave, which is the same. I'll get to that in a second. And then the tunnels will run to the left here, to the west, split off into this section. Still not sure what I want to do with this. I think it'll be like a little valley. I'll have another line of mountains, and this will be another area. There's an area here I left open for, I don't know, when you explore, when you get your own ship. But then the main tunnel runs down here out into the desert. Before I get to the pirate situation inside the caves here, I wanted to talk about this land bridge. Originally, I was going to have it be a crossing point for the player where they had to fight their way through it, but things evolved here. You'd have to go to the knowledge shrine, come back to town, then go to the pyramid, then come back to town, and that's crossing the same battlefield 4 times. It's just tedious. It's unnecessary. So I'm just going to get rid of it. Instead, what I think I'll do is, if I can find a good representation of a bridge, I'm thinking one of these two. Oh, this is snow covered. Well, all right. This wins. I'll just have a bridge here. And then what I'll do, that actually looks pretty terrible. Does this one look any better? Oh, it looks actually, I like the way, yeah, all right. I like the way the wood and the stone come through here like that. What I'll do is I'll have an event for the first time the player crosses into it. And then from then on, it's just back and forth. Simple, as you please. Oh, there was another thing I wanted to talk about before we get to the pirates. I feel like defeating the boss of the pyramid should not just automatically clear out the military presence in the desert. That wouldn't happen in real life. And even though it's fiction and it's got magic in it, the idea that he's a load-bearing boss and that there's just no chain of command and that everything's just fine after they beat the pyramid, what I would rather have happen is that the military presence in the orc camp and Naho stay. We can represent, we can get a message to the player that things are better. They're panicking, they're disorganized, they're struggling with a new chain of command at the loss of the boss in the pyramid, but they're not just gonna pack up and ship out because he's defeated. I just don't buy it. So I'm gonna leave it the way it is. I'll have to change some dialogue, and my plans for the orc camp are gonna have to change. Instead of having a liberated version, I suppose the players can come in here, beat up the general, and then they'll be freed. That makes more sense. But Naho itself, the town, will probably stay under military enemy control. I'll have to change some dialogue and some after pyramid deal situation with the town. But my plan to have them talk to a ship captain and catch a ride up north to the grasslands will stay in effect. It'll just have to. I'll just have to change some dialogue. My plan for it. So on to the the pirates, not the pyramid, the pirates. As you can see, let me back out here. As you can see, I combined both parts of the map into one. It just didn't make sense to have it be two separate maps. What I wanted originally was for it to scroll from one map to the other, but this way is just as this way is just as valid. It's fine. It's fine. I had to change a few things up here, but it's fine. I set up an event up here, so when the player touches it, they'll come over here, auto walk over, line up in front of the captain, and then have a conversation about why they're attacking the Empire, what their goal is, and how it aligns with the pirates' goals. And then he'll agree to help them, send them to Naho, point them in the direction of the black market. And from there, you know the story. The Pirate Cove tunnels, as you can see, I changed it up a little bit. We still have the way up I showed you on the world map. But then the tunnel comes over here, and then I'll have it end and a separate set of tunnel that runs down to the Naho exit. I have a little plaque here. Is that really? No, I have the event set up, but I didn't put the plaque in yet. Okay. Let me do that real quick. This one? I want a sign, but I don't really see. Yeah, all right. It blends into the wall, unfortunately, but it'll be fine. If the player somehow misses it, there's a pirate up here who will tell you this way goes to blah, blah, blah. It's a dead end for now. At this point in the game, there's really no point for the player to go up there. Otherwise, they just go this way. Well, that's the idea. That's the plan. I haven't started working on the tunnels yet, but I'll get there. Actually, we could do that this episode. Really, we could. Other than that, I've just been fiddling with the last zone. I want, when all is said and done on the world map, let me keep backing out here. When all's said and done, I wanted at least 3 continents. Maybe 4. Maybe 4. Not including the islands. So we have this smaller one. We have the big main continent here. I wanted a southern Antarctic continent, but I also want it like broken into pieces, like something happened to shatter the landmass, which I'm trying to represent with these islands here. That's just a work in progress, though. But that's 3. And then, of course, the big one here with the boss. I don't know how big this is going to be. As a last zone, I want it to be pretty fast. The player arrives, makes their way to the castle, and then makes their way to the final boss. I don't want them jumping through a whole lot of hoops to get there. It just doesn't make sense at that point in the game. Then we have this island with the vampire. And then this ring of fire around this side of the transition between east and west on the map. I'm still working on. I think I explained that last episode, but I'm still working on it. So that's 1, 2, 3. Antarctic would make 4. I'm debating whether or not I want anything over here. I think what I just want to do is have a chain of islands running from this side of the map to the middle here. I don't know how I would explain that it used to be a landmass that got thoroughly wrecked. The Knowledge Shrine has a lot of that information for the player if they want to go digging through the bookshelves, but if they miss it, then it's just like, oh, well, here's the thing. I'm thinking up some ideas, but I'm still working on how to drop that lore for the player. Anyways, that's what I'm working on. That's what I've been working on. That's what I'm thinking about doing. Let's go back to the pirate tunnels, make a new one, and then work on the. I think it'll be dungeon. I think that's dungeon. Hold on. What is this one? It is dungeon. Okay, yeah. Nope. New dungeon. Naho Tunnel? I think that, yeah, Naho Tunnel. Yeah, and then I'll just make this, that'll also give me the location I desired to put the monsters, the enemies that I worked on that I didn't add to this. This just has the bats and the rats. This one, the Naho Tunnel, will have the Sahuwa, the shark men, and maybe some other enemies that I worked on. It needs to be bigger than this, definitely. If that's this size, this needs to be bigger. So let's... Width doesn't need to be that wide, I think. But the height, I want it... let's do 26 and then we can go from there. That's better. Still a little too short. We look at the world map. No, I don't. All right. If we look at the world map, I'd say right here where the cloud is where the split happens. Where it runs north and south. So we want it to come over and down. It's not, the width isn't that bad. The length is what I want it to be longer. Definitely longer. So maybe 30? We'll try 30 and then we'll go from there. I don't want to go overboard. It is a transition area, but I was thinking about it. It is the first opportunity the player has. You know what? I'm just going to roll in. It's too hard to build when it's that tiny. This is the first opportunity the player has to actually... we'll cut that. To actually... test the battle classes that they've earned. I don't want to do that. This is just a rough representation anyways. The, you know what I think I'll do is I'll have 2 separate rooms like this, and then maybe one over here. And that. And that. This will be the way out. This will just be a dead end, but... we also have water, don't we? Yeah, it pinches right there. So we could have a bridge with water on either side. Yeah, see, there's like more cave over here, so we can have more cave over here. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, it's the first opportunity for the players to try out, to test out their battle class. So why not give them a couple of fights where they can make use of it? Where they can test out their class, their new classes, their new skills. Stretch their wings and try out their new skills and abilities. Let's see here. How do I want to do this? It goes straight up. I don't want it over here like this. That's not what I want to do. Actually, I do want to leave it. No, because the water has to come in right there. Let's say the water comes in over here and over here. Yeah, see, I think what I want to do then is make it wider so I can have this part run over here more. Because the way the world map looks, there's a lot over here. And I could even have it run out to the water. And I could even have more of the tunnel come over this way if I wanted to. But I need a wider tunnel for that. I also need it longer because if I'm going to do that, yeah, if I'm going to do that, then let me see here. I want the tunnel connecting with the passing through the water up here. I want yeah, like that. Yeah, that's probably the best. This is just a quick representation, but this is probably, and then we'll just do that for what I want to do for the later part of it. It's just, I'm not happy with that, but that's just a quick representation anyways. We'll expand it and make it bigger. Getting back to the battle thing, what I've got right now for troops for this area that I worked on. Where'd you go? The Sahuagin, the rats, the bats. I'm thinking I'll add a 5th type of enemy to mix in with this. But I don't know what I want to do. Maybe another slime type? A sea slime would be nice. I have cold, I have grime, I have fire. I could do grime. They don't really get a play yet. I was thinking about maybe they'd work better in the skill shrine area, the city that I'm going to be building. So maybe not. But I can't. Maybe a sea Lamia? She was going to be, I don't know. I think maybe I want to hold off on that because I have a desert Lamia coming up in Naho. Rainbow Dragon, that's not it. Maybe a Spark? I could have a Sea Spark. Flurry? No, that's cold. Well. All right. Well, let's look through the enemies types then. See if we can't add something else to the caves. Behemoth we've got for the desert. And really, with the way its back looks, there's not a whole lot I can do to it that doesn't say it's a desert dweller. Chimera, no, it's too soon. It should be a boss monster. Cerberus, no. I don't want to include any humans, any Empire enemies. I guess I could. What I could do is have something that looks like a pirate and just be like Smuggler or Rogue or Spy or Assassin or something dwelling in these caves. But I want to go more for wildlife than I do for people. So I kind of want to avoid that. I guess I could have a fairy type. We've done pixie. So we could do like a sea fairy. Maybe. I don't have a blue. I could do a blue. All right, what would I call it then? Let's see. What's that white foam on the end of waves called? It's got a specific name, not just foam, but I'll have to look it up. You know, I think I'm getting too focused on the water part of the tunnels and not enough on the tunnel part of the tunnels. So let's back up. Let's back up and try something else. Maybe we want something that would make sense living underground, like this. This horrible gelatinous object. But if I was gonna do, yeah, it would definitely be a pale blue like this. All right. Cave slime. Well, we already have slimes. This could be, it's kind of slime-ish, right? But I mean, it looks more like an evolved version, like a Pokemon evolution form. What could we call it? If we keep with the naming conventions of slimes, we could. But I don't know. Part of me wants to relate it to a slime family, but also have it be its own distinct thing. So what can we call it? Perfect. I am so pleased with that name. Okay, so let's make a. We'll make a. I'm gonna move succubus down here. Paste, clear. Let's make another troop with, or another couple of troops using this as an option. We'd have cave rats or bats. I think probably some bats. Probably some bats to go with this thing. There we go. There we go. All right. So we'll just have one for now because I want to move on. All right. So let's get back to the tunnels since I've done that. Okay. Here's what I think I'm going to be working with. We'll enter from here. I'm going to have to make it wider. I think either that or cut down how big the water is. If I look at the world map, I've got the river that runs this way. But what I'm thinking is the tunnels would just really occupy these two. Making the map even bigger doesn't really serve a purpose. Same with this one down here. We have it run down to this point, and then there's a side section over here, and it could run down this way. But again, making it go too far is kind of pointless. It's not going to be a maze. It's just a series of maybe side branches with some treasure or items. But the goal is to get down here to this exit. I'm actually going to mark it separately. I was thinking of doing a different color for the desert, like this, just to show. And then maybe, maybe I should just have one. Yeah, maybe I should just have one little doorway. What am I? One little and exit. I don't know what I'm trying to say. The one tile for that. But that's what I'm going to be working on. I'll work on it and refine it. Maybe stretch it, maybe shrink it. But that'll be it for this episode because I'm not feeling well, and there's some work ahead for me. Actually, no. You know what? That's my fault. There was one I was working on. The event I wanted to go through real quick. So I've got the pirate leader right there. And then I've got the walkthrough here. I have a question for the watchers, for you viewers. I want, at a certain point in the conversation, I want the pirate captain to start pacing back and forth, up and down, right here on this line, while the player characters are describing their goals to him. The way I have this set up is that it's on repeat. Hold on, let me bring it up. It doesn't wait for completion. It repeats the movements going through here. I actually should probably remove this, cut. I want it to repeat the movements, and I want him to run with it until this point when he stops and turns towards the player and continues his conversation with them. Will that work the way I have it set up, where he keeps pacing while they talk, or as soon as they start talking, he will stop moving? I can test it. I think I should test it. But I'm curious, people who know more than I do, if that's the way it's going to work. Let me know in the comments. I appreciate it if you do. Or you can email me, either way. But that will be the end of the episode, I think. So, with that said, thank you everyone for joining me. Until next time, stay safe, and God bless you.